Hey everybody, Carol Garrison with Carol's Creative Escape. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Have been doing this for 10 years. And I just want to share with you real quick a simple way to get your heat embossed sentiments to match the color that you're using with your cardstock or designer series paper. Kind of a way to customize that ink using the heat tool, clear embossing powder, and a colored ink pad. So let me show you that real quick. Very simple to do. I use my Stamparatus, and what I try to do is get my images lined up in the corner. I've got one on here now, but I want to kind of walk you through the whole process that I follow. And so I am going to use a birthday sentiment. I take a piece of basic white cardstock or whatever you're going to use. I do like to put a little bit of the adhesive, and I just tap it with my finger to take some of the stickiness out. I make sure that my graph paper is in the corner of my Stamparatus here, and then I put my, I got a piece of adhesive stuck to it. Put my cardstock in the corner too. That way, if things shift just a little bit while I'm doing this, it's not a big deal because I can get it lined up again. So now I'm going to center my image and get it set up where I want on my cardstock. Close my Stamparatus. Sometimes the paper will stick to the clear stamps like this. And then I'm just going to use Orchid Oasis, and I'll ink up my sentiment. And I close it with the Stamparatus, and make sure that you press down to get the whole image covered. I do find that when I'm using the matching color, I like to be able to get a really dark, kind of intense color. And so I do go back and stamp up, my image twice. Got a little happy with the ink here. And that way I know I'm getting a solid sentiment with good color. The next step that you want to do is just take your Simply Chamois and wipe off the ink. For this, I like to keep my chamois fairly dry, wet enough that it's going to get the ink off, but not so wet that it's going to leave water sitting on my image here. And then I am going to come back with my Versamark ink pad, and I am again going to ink up my image. Go over it. And just like I did with the Orchid Oasis ink, I am actually going to do this twice. And the reason for that is I just want to make sure I've gotten things covered really well and I don't end up with a little bit of unembossed spot. Okay, then we'll cover that up. The next step is I'm just going to remove that from there. When you have used Versamark on the photopolymer stamps, I do like to wipe those down, and then when I'm done with the project I'm working on, I will just take a gentle soap, Dawn or something like that, and clean it off that way, just to make sure I'm getting that good and clean. Then the next thing that I'm going to do is I'll just get a piece of paper, and I'm going to put this down here, and I'm going to cover this with the clear embossing powder. And I just want to shake most of that off, and then I usually give it a gentle flick over the trash can so that I don't have any little pieces left. And the magic will now happen. I'm going to use just a clothespin when it's a small piece. I don't want to burn my fingers, so I use just a little clothespin. And then I'm going to turn my heat gun on, and I do turn it up to number 2. It will take a minute or 2 for the gun to warm up all the way. So just be aware of that. And then you can just hold it over your image, and you're going to see, I apologize for the noise, all of a sudden stuff starts to melt and get a lot darker. It's my favorite part of heat embossing. I think it's one of the reasons I do a lot of this type of embossing, because I just love watching it hit that right temperature and everything start to melt. Okay, and then I can turn that noisy thing off, and now I've got a beautifully customized image that's going to match my Orchid Oasis paper perfectly, because I'm using that color. And I'll show you what I mean here. I forgot to grab a piece to have it ready. But see, it just matches it perfectly because it's the same tone. So that's just a quick and easy tip for customizing your embossed images so that they match the ink and paper that you're working with on your projects. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.